Want to support U.S. military veterans and the watchmaking world in one go, two birds, one stone? Well, this Bulova Military VWI Special Edition allows you to do just that and walk away with a watch in the process. Let's get into it. A watchmaking organization that deserves more time in the spotlight, the Veterans Watchmaker Initiative allows U.S. military veterans to apply to join its watch technician and watchmaker programs, exclusively offered to veterans and 100% free of charge for them. The VWI is a revival of the Bulova school concept, in which watchmaking was taught to veterans post-World War II as a means of rehabilitation, renewed purpose, and the ability to walk away from the school and military service with a highly in-demand skill. The VWI, a nonprofit, runs on donations and through the sponsorship of major organizations like Bulova. But if you want to support the VWI and get something even further out of it, the Bulova Military VWI Special Edition may need to be your next watch pickup, with 10% of the sales proceeds from the Special Edition donated to the VWI. So what are we getting here? The Bulova Military VWI Special Edition finds itself in a 30-meter water-resistant 42.5mm cushion-shaped stainless steel case. Its design is meant to evoke military field chronographs of the 1940s, and befitting of a military-inspired watch, the cushion case is predominantly brushed, with accents like the coin bezel, the crown, and the chronograph pushers mirror polished. The large nature of the dial may make the watch feel larger in presence, but the lugs are not too long nor too flat, ensuring that the watch will wear well on, I would say, average to large-size wrists. Beneath a domed impact and shatter-proof mineral crystal that furthers a vintage sensibility, the olive green dial naturally evokes a military feel, not only bringing color to the dial, but also ensuring easy legibility. At the outermost perimeter of the dial is a scaled railroad-style minutes track that frames a near-complete set of Arabic hour numerals and a balanced tri-compax chronograph register layout. At the 9 o'clock position is a 60-minute elapsed minute scale for the chronograph, and at 3 o'clock, you might mistake an elapsed hour scale opposite it. What the 3 o'clock counter actually offers is a 1/20th of a second counter that, once the chronograph is stopped, races to indicate the fraction of a second you stop the chronograph at. So it's very cool. The 6 o'clock position is where you will find not only the small seconds counter, but also a date complication neatly tucked within it. The disc has been executed in a white on black format, which some might think is not better suited for the dial than the typical black on white disc. However, the black backdrop feels more discreet and allows the numerals of the date disc, in white, to better match the overall white printing on the dial. Of the 6 hands on the dial, the hours and minutes hands, along with the chronograph's elapsed seconds hand, are filled with luminous material for visibility in darkness that is desirable for a military field watch. The Arabic hour numerals are also luminous as well. With my typical darker, black-driven wardrobe, I personally skew more towards black, blue, or gray leather straps. However, the brown leather strap, its subtle padding, and white stitching have a real classic American feel, with a hue and texture reminiscent of a baseball glove. And it just really suits the nature of this design. That being said, the strap does have quick release tabs, should you wish to take it off with ease, and explore other straps that accommodate its 22mm lug width. As advertised on the dial, the Bulova Military VWI Special Edition is driven by a proprietary high-precision quartz caliber that runs at a frequency of 262 kHz, 8 times greater than the frequency of a standard quartz movement. This doesn't mean that you have the seemingly perfect fluid sweeping running seconds you would see on a watch like the Bulova Super Seville. The small seconds counter, still ticks each second, while the elapsed chronograph seconds hand does have a mechanical-like sweep. But what the 262 kHz movement does still offer in this instance is very reliable timekeeping, accurate within just seconds per year. The movement is hidden beneath a solid screwed caseback, but you are instead treated to a special custom engraving that honors the partnership between Bulova and the VWI. So look, it would be easy to dismiss the Bulova Military VWI Special Edition as a somewhat plain watch. However, the brand's high-precision quartz technology is nothing to scoff at, and very impressive in terms of its timekeeping, accurate within seconds per year, 1/20th of a second counter, functionality. And once the watch is flipped over, and its special edition backstory and VWI support are communicated, the watch really, not to make a quartz pun here, really resonates even further. It's a very solid watch with desirable design elements and hassle-free timekeeping. The Bulova Military VWI Special Edition stands to deliver a very enjoyable wear experience with the added benefit of supporting military veterans and the world of watchmaking in the process. Normally, I wouldn't shift focus away from the watch that is actually the subject of our hands-on review, but for those of you out there who would prefer a smaller three-handed automatic over a larger HPQ chronograph, or are just in the market for something under $500 rather than the $695 price of the Bulova Military VWI Special Edition, it's worth mentioning that Bulova also has a 38mm hack watch that is also a VWI Special Edition. It was launched 3 years prior to this watch and is priced at $475. But to reiterate, the Bulova Military VWI Special Edition is available now for purchase and priced at $695. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.